Good evening to all you out there in Free Enterprise land, and welcome to Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise After Dark. I am Smapey, coming to you from the post-midnight crew. Alongside me in the booth is Gambit017. How you doing, Gambit?
I am apparently living in the past, because it's still Thursday night for me.
How's it going back there?
So far, so good. The night is still young.
It is still young, because though the sun isn't out, we still have some hot action here tonight. We've got an elimination match here between frankiebones and plumeriaknight. Tell me a little bit about these runners, Gambit.
Well, both runners are currently 0-1 in the Hook Route. frankiebones came from that very, very rough Ifrit group that sent 3 people at 2-1 into that magma route. Frankie, unfortunately, going 0-3, taking the loss to all 3 of those people. plumeriaknight came 1-2 from the Alexander group, and then took a rough loss last week. So almost an elimination match here. One of them will still be in contention for a 2-1 spot and that second play-in. The other one, next week, will be praying for Pride.
Yeah, yes, indeed. So yeah, we've got 2 play-in matches to qualify for at the end of these routes. If you manage to go 3-0 in this second round, you will get to a second playoff match. As long as you go 2-1, you can get to one of the play-in matches. But 2 losses, and that is effectively the end of the tournament for you. So this is expect to see all of the stops being pulled out here by these runners as they are walking on the knife's edge here.
Yeah, we've got a nice, lovely set of objectives here. So just got to go find some blankets, wrap yourself up, get comfy, and enjoy. Oh, wait, those are the wrong objectives. We've got the standard forge. We got complete the Giant of Babel, which that could be very fun to see. Liberate Baron Castle, and then returning to Pan, the Yang's wife.
Yeah, always a fan of seeing the Pan show up as an objective, just because it has the potential to unlock so much in a seed. The Pan itself is responsible for two key item checks in and of itself, but also, if depending on when it shows up, routing into it can often lead to many, many more. So you really like to see that in objectives here, because this could mean some very open routing here from our runners.
Yeah, Palmeria is showing us his wonderful naming scheme. Looks like some Star Trek Next Generation characters with a little bit of added Spock down there.
So looks like, is that a Palom start, I believe? Or is that Porum?
I believe it's Porum, if I'm not mistaken.
It's so hard to tell sometimes, but either or, not a terrible start. Palom would definitely be preferable to get some punching weight behind you there. Getting confirmation chat that it's Palom. Yeah, I think it's Palom. It's got the flat shoulders. There we go. Thank you. Our tracker Ake here joining in there. Palom can't really do much right out of the gate, but as soon as you get one fight done, you'll get those tier 2 elemental spells, and then all of a sudden you're able to be carried through the overworld very easily. And there's the hook right away. That is a very interesting first item.
Yeah, the gang joining our Palom, not much to do for offense to start the seed, but get a couple of bosses under our belt, get those level 2 spells for our Palom. He can be a power force. Yang going to take a little while to get online, but definitely a good HP tank later on.
Oh, absolutely. Even early on, he's going to have a nice amount of HP. He can fill in a lot of roles. He can take hits from multiple. He can take multiple hits essentially. He'd still be on his feet, so he's good for throwing potions around. So yeah, not the worst character, but probably not anything that's going to really open things up like that Palom is about to as soon as one boss fights here. And yeah, not blaming frankiebones one bit, going right down to Mysidia to get some extra characters in this team. plumeriaknight making a slightly more standard check we've seen from these group flags and going right to the waterfall cave.
frankiebones being rewarded, though. That is an Edge as our first character from Mysidia, and then a Kane is his second. That's a very nice pickup.
Yes, indeed. Second Palom over here in Waterfall Cave. I really like the dual Paloms early on. If you can get some experience with them, you can get some really massive area clearing damage between the 2 of them. Plus, they both have access to that twin cast spell. They can cast it as long as you get to any 2 of the twins, even if they're repeats, which can really, really help until you get those higher tier elemental spells for Palom. And finding that Gaia hat, which is actually the highest intelligence boosting item you can get on a male caster, so Palom will definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, but not really much other than that in that watery pass. That was a very empty. Sparse 60 really hit it hard.
Yeah, usually that's been paying off a lot more early on. In fact, Plumeriaknight's going to go into the back of it and hope that it's been touched a little bit less and immediately paid off of that curse ring. That is definitely a sigh of relief once you find that, because you know that your agility woes in the late game are much, much easier to deal with.
Oh yeah, coming across the curse string this early, that really informs, okay, I can take pretty much any character I want at this point. I've got a way to anchor. Doesn't matter if it's a Cecil, doesn't matter if it's not. I'm good.
Yeah, frankiebones going to pick it up as well. So both of our runners are now set as far as agility anchoring goes. This is going to be much, much easier for them to work with their party, to not have to have that constant, monkey on their shoulder with regards to agility issues. So yeah, they're definitely both liking that back of waterfall early here.
Yeah, Plumeriaknight finding a Dragoon armor has not gone to Insidia, not picked up that cane yet. frankiebones will be very nice if he finds that. If he decides to loot the base, but it doesn't look like he's going to.
Yeah, it wasn't that. Yeah, the Dragoon armor was nice. I've seen a lot of people skipping the damn CN basement, especially with the way the Wildish flag sort of distributes chests. Not giving a ton of priority tier-wise to the damn CN location. So some people just tend to skip the basement entirely. Completely valid there, though. That Dragoon armor is a pretty nice pickup.
Yeah, just another Yang as our character down here. Not really much help at this point in the game.
Yeah, honestly, the big break in this seed so far has been that Edge find. That's going to be able to completely carry your early game. Edge is basically capable of soloing the overworld here, so that's kind of the big momentum thing. That's going to get those Palums where you want them to be offensively. So yeah, I like this going right into Antlion Cave here, because there's really nothing could stop me at this point. That Moonveil could be huge later in the seed.
Yeah, frankiebones showing us it was the Baron Guards in the waterfall, so that's a free fight if we need it later, but not necessarily needed here. And there's our Cecil guarded by a Baigan up on Hobbs. frankiebones says, nah, I'm good for right now.
Yeah, you've got that curse ring, so you know you're not terribly punished for bringing along a Cecil. There's not an enormous need to grab him right now. We haven't seen any phenomenal gear for him. Leaving him on Hobbs there might be the perfect play. You've got a Cecil in your back pocket. If Crystal Sword shows up later in this seed, you can go grab him whenever you want, and if it's significantly far along in the seed, you can just slingshot him up from there if you want a really powerful melee attacker. So yeah, having that in your back pocket with Cecil and Hobbs is pretty nice.
Yeah, Plumeriaknight also finding a Dwarf Axe here in the Antlion Cave. That'll be nice, again, with frankiebones, if he hits that chest to back row glitch that cane he has.
Yeah, it's one of the problems with Kane is it can be very, very difficult to get that back row glitch set up on him. The Dwarf Axe really the only thing Kane can use in order to hit the back row properly without using that jump command. So always a huge thing to find that. If frankiebones hits up Antlion Cave, decides to loot it out, we'll be delighted to find that Dwarf Axe, and keeping Kane in the back row with Dragoon armor with the back row glitch on. That's going to be a very, very tanky Dragoon.
So are we sure Dathis is in our restreamer tonight? Because this is a vanilla Antlion.
Maybe this is the only vanilla we see. You don't know yet. If this is Dathis, it'd be way more vanilla than this. But yeah, taking advantage of that twin cast ability, as you can see, doing lots of damage. And now we've got Ice 2 on the Palums, so they are set to go. They can very much carry this team through the overworld, the amount of damage they're putting out now.
That's a party rock right there. That's a good find early on, because that opens up the Troya Treasury.
Yes, it does, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Plumeriaknight immediately go and check that out. The Troya Treasury has so many attempts to have some very high-level gear in there. Something like a Stardust Rod would really break this seed wide open, or even one of those Crystal Swords we were talking about would make that Cecil on Mount Hobbs incredibly attractive.
Plumeriaknight immediately moving the hovercraft back over, hopping into the Enterprise, and going to do a quick check of the waterfall real fast before deciding where to go next.
It just occurred to me that he has the Star Trek team, and he's in the Enterprise. Do you get it, Gambit?
Oh, I get it.
Do you get it? Because that's the ship they use.
Yep, I got that. The only question is,
Hunt's gonna get his edge and his dragoon, so probably one of those Yongs is ready to be thrown by the wayside.
So straight B, is that the D or the E?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Which one is the one Han Solo flies?
I'm gonna let that one slide, okay? So Frankie finding the vanilla antlion shouldn't have too much of a problem here. Plumerian Knight grabbing that edge, probably going to pick him up. Be very happy to see him.
Yeah, most certainly. We haven't seen any great weaponry for Edge just yet, so he's going to be rocking those short swords for a little bit. Even still, he is incredibly versatile early on. He's got that ninjutsu magic if you need to be targeting all. It does not, unlike most black magic, it does not suffer any kind of penalty for hitting the whole screen. It's very much like Rydia's summon magic in that regard, so it can be very, very useful in fights where you've got multiple enemies. And if you just need him to attacking, he's going to do it very fast. He's going to hit very hard by swinging essentially twice with every attack from dual wielding. So, we might have an early look at Baron Inn here. Usually one of the more difficult plays here on the overworld. We'll see if Plumerian Knight's going to feels strong enough with this party to actually take it on.
A little shot not going straight for that Earth Crystal, but, you know, it's good to get the knowledge. That's an Evil Wall. That's where you'd like to see Evil Wall. Only 400 HP, going to easy to get through. Guarding Rydia.
Yeah, and going for it. I like this. Gonna, you know, like I said, somewhat a more difficult spot here in the second spot. 4,000 HP. Can hit relatively hard this early on. But yeah, Plumerian Knight feeling very confident in the team that he's got so far. Let's see who the second boss is going to be. Meanwhile, frankiebones is going in, and it looks like we have an early edition of Rate That Treasury, so pay attention here, and let's see what kind of gear we're going to get.
Ooh, this could be a little bit interesting. Got Dark Knight Cecil in that second spot, but Edge should have enough HP if he can get a Cure 2 off to survive this.
Yeah, gets the Cure 2 off, shouldn't be a problem from here on out. Doing 330 as long as, yeah, we're looking at the upper bounds of that kind of damage. Ed should get through here. Rest of the party's dead, but that's not a concern because this spot doesn't give XP in the first place, so no need to be concerned, and that is a done Baron Inn very quickly.
That is an X-Cow, a black shirt, a ribbon, a tiara, a glass hat. This treasury is just amazing so far.
Okay. With 2 defense swords and Excalibur, oh my goodness. We already know both Kane and Cecil are in play. I'm giving that a good 9 out of 10.
I think I'd give it a 10. I think I'd give that a 10 out of 10. Really? That was a great treasury. I mean, lots of gear and very high quality.
Yeah, I mean, usually I reserve a 10 out of 10 for Crystal Sword, but gosh, yeah, considering everything we got available, yeah, maybe 9.5. Maybe I'll give it a 9.5.
In the meantime, while we were getting that rate, Plumerian Knight found the Legend Sword from that Baron Inn check.
So yeah, already paying off. That is half of objective number 1 done there. Honestly, at this point, yeah, I like this Ordeals play here. You know, you're we're gonna get is this a Choco check?
Yep, that was a Choco check. It looked like it was unfortunately empty.
Yep, unfortunate. I like it though. I usually don't see that outside of dark matter hunts, but you know, might be able to pull something from that Chocobo Forest that your opponent might not get. So good game knowledge there from Plumerian Knight.
Now, Tracker Ike here also pointing out that Plumeria took Rydia as well.
Yeah, we haven't found anything quite amazing for Rydia just yet. We haven't found any. She's going to like the tiara that we found. She's going to like, I believe there was a black robe that was found her, now that the black robe is finally fixed to give the proper black magic stats. We have not found a great summon for her yet, though. Rydia is one of those characters. I like to consider Rydia as sort of the magical equivalent of Cecil, where she's very reliant on what you find for items. Except where Cecil, speaking of Cecil, there's second Cecil. So, Not interested there, Plumeriaknight, but he also does not know that there's another Cecil waiting on Hobbs. So we'll see if Frankie Bones makes a different decision when he goes to Ordeals. But yeah, if you can find one of those great summons for Rydia early on, she can do a ton of damage even going into the late game with one of those Leviathans or Bahamut's. So yeah, I really like Rydia sticking around here, kind of hoping that maybe something turns up.
And we find Octomam in the first spot of Ordeals. That's not too bad. In the meantime, Frankie is actually going up for Bull. Might give us our first check of Bull defense.
Yeah, this is interesting play here. A lot of runners try to fade Fabul for as long as possible. The dream there is getting all of your Fabul checks done at once. Finding access to the underworld elsewhere, finding that pan somewhere, and then you can just do both Sheila checks and Fabul all at once. But because of that, some runners like to sneak a check into Fabul early, knowing that their opponent might fade it a little bit. And we know that Hook is in play, so the Hook route is a valid way to the underworld. If there's a sneaky magma key here that one runner checks and the other doesn't, that could give someone a significant advantage.
Yeah, these Fabul shops are stacked. Those life potions, other ones, and exits in the item shop. We've got Dwarf Axe, Thunderclaw, Boomerang here in the armor weapon shop.
Yeah, that is your one-stop shopping. You get a lot of things set up on your team.
So one thing to point out with Plumeriaknight taking that Rydia, Rydia learns Warp at a lot earlier level than Palom does. And Warp will come into handy once we get underground, once we get to Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, that is an excellent point. Warp, with that Warp glitch on, you can get 2 for 1 out of Dwarf Castle. You got to be a little careful, though, because depending on where the Luca key is, that item that you get out of the sealed cave through the Warp glitch can be a little misleading. Since it's technically going to be out of logic and might put you on the wrong path. But always better to get 2 key items instead of 1 if you can, and Rydia is one of the best ways, outside of an Ordeal's powered-up Tella, to get that warp early. And Plague in the back attack spot is never fun.
No, it's not. We got Mylon Z and Fabul. That was a quick and easy fight for Frankie. Plumeria having to take a reset. Might see him try to set up for this.
Yeah, it's going to be a matter of trying to get... well, there's actually two real ways I can see approaching this. Is one, trying to get one of your characters killed off very quickly so you can get them revived and get that count reset. Another thing you might consider, we've got... Well, Plumeriaknight hasn't been to that Troya Vault yet, so hasn't gotten all of that great gear. But getting some burst damage from a dart from Edge on Plague and just... saying nuts to mechanics, let's get through this, might also be an option as well.
Yeah, but for right now, they actually switched up their his anchoring scheme, put that curse string on Rydia, stuck her in the middle, trying to see if they can just get through this way. Also going to equip that Palom with a bow and arrow, which is going to do some extra damage to Plague.
Yeah, you can really see the effectiveness that agility manipulation has here. It was down to the 3-second count before he even got a turn last time. Now with Rydia set up like this, Edge is getting a turn while it's barely counted down to 9, letting him do way more here. Rydia's down, you get that life on her, so now the rest of the fight should be rather academic, just putting down a character and getting him back up if need be, but I think with the damage he's putting out, might not need to be doing that. Should be able to just burst through it at this point.
Frankie Bones found the Sand Ruby from the defensive Fabul, and we find another Palom in the bed.
Now that's very, very interesting. Gosh, I'm already thinking about what to do about that. We see already dismissing Palom. I might have thought that was Porum there and thinking of picking up a White Mage. But I would entertain the idea of just keeping that Palom in bed and maybe grabbing them later on after you've got a grind option opened and slingshotting them up and do something crazy like running into Zeromus with 3 Paloms and doing reflex strats. Could be really fun.
So, or you can leave them there till right at the very end of the seed, pick them up as your agility anchor.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, a lot of options there, but not going for any of it. Was hoping for a White Mage, didn't get it, and it's just going to move on.
I did find long swords in the shop there in Kaipo, so that's a nice little pickup for Edge.
Yeah, one of the things for Edge is because of how specific the weapons he can use are nowhere near as versatile as Cecil or Kane when it comes to the availability of weapons only able to equip those katanas. You can run into instances where you're getting into the mid and late game and Edge has not upgraded his hardware yet. It can be really disappointing to have what has been your best character throughout the entire seed suddenly start to fall off in damage. So you like to see when those katanas are available for sale in a weapon shop somewhere, and you can get something to keep his damage in check.
Meanwhile, Plumeria got through that plague, gets into the crystal room, gets the Baron key from the top of Ordeals, and do we have Leg or Leg and Friends?
Leg and Friends. And we don't even get to see Leg. Unfortunate.
Leg denied.
But that means all of our Cecils are Paladins now. All of our Tellas out there have their full spell list. Not an immediate benefit to plumeriaknight here, but with that Baron key in hand, that is an extra check to make before committing to that hook route, and an extra possibility to find that magma key and avoid what could be a potentially dangerous route into the underworld. We see something interesting there on frankiebones. He actually went the full offense route and took out Dark Knight Cecil. Not content to just sit there and take the damage, he wanted to take the Dark Paladin down and gets himself the Legend Sword Force Troubles.
Justice was correct today. In the meantime, plumeriaknight walking back down Ordeals. Going to be interesting to see what he decides to do next, having already done the Baron in check. The only check he hasn't done on the overworld is for Bull. Is he going to go ahead and check it first, or is he going to go ahead and fade it and start running that hook route? Or is he going to go Zot or Baron?
Yeah, Zot into Baron would be some strong routing a lot of the times, since Zot is going to kick you out at Baron anyway. It's a favorite of a lot of runners. This is also going to give him 2 additional character checks, maybe hoping to shore up his team with a white mage here. And he also has not been into that Troya vault, so he's going to get access to all of those goodies as well.
Well, I'm going to be very happy to see a lot of those goodies as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Either he's really proud of that elven bow or his stream is frozen up just a little bit.
Frankiebones looks like they're considering taking the Cecil gets rid of their Young.
Yeah, I like this play a lot. Frankie's been to Hobbs, knows that second Cecil is in play, has been to that vault, knows there's a lot of high-tier equipment that Cecil can use. So he's probably thinking right now, okay, we're going to finish Ordeals. We're going to get a Paladin online here. I'm going to have 2 of them available, and I've got a Curse Ring to make one of them an anchor. So yeah, this is what I'm looking for to my long-term team planning.
I like what Plumeria is doing here, using Warp on Rydia to exit back out to that first door for Zot. That way not having to walk all the way around.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure how much time it actually saves, but anything beats walking. As an incredibly lazy person, I definitely approve of this strategy. Down goes Octomam. Gonna run into the back attack played spot himself here on frankiebones' side. A little shop checking here for plumeriaknight. So while that's happening, I do want to give a shout out to everybody making this work behind the scenes on this very, very late edition of Free Enterprise. We got Asuka424 running the restream and Ike here doing the tracking. So huge shout outs to them. Make sure you give them a follow and definitely appreciate them staying up late to broadcast this elimination race here.
Without our restream team, these races wouldn't be possible, so definitely give them a follow. They are a huge part of making sure we have so much Free Enterprise content out for you guys, and we absolutely love everyone who helps, so thank you so much.
We're going to see that Kane incredibly decked out here. Ooh. You love it. You love to see Kane with this much gear this early in a seed.
So if I'm not mistaken, with the numbers being backwards, was those at 1 for Frankie there, or were those still at 10?
You are correct. That was at 1. So skin of the teeth there. But Frankie is through. Maybe picking up a little bit of time on Plumeriaknight, having not having to take the reset there. So going to get through ordeals a little bit quicker than Plumeriaknight did.
Right, left Troya. Looks like they are looking for... Nope, doing some shopping check.
Yeah, might be preparing for an expedition underground here, so definitely want to hit all your shops. Make sure you got your Star Veils, any other things. Oh, that's a Sylph spell. That is huge for Rydia. That is going to make her a very, very valuable part of the team right now, especially going into a potential hook route here. We don't have a dedicated white mage, so Sylph can be your healing. That just shot that Rydia up in usefulness tenfold, I'd say.
Has Plumeria, since he's the only one with the Rydia, has he checked the Hobbs spell yet?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe he's been to Hobbs at all, because he hasn't checked that Bagan guarding Cecil, and we haven't seen the Hobbs spell for Rydia. But, looks like going back to Troya, we might actually see a play at Zot here after all. That Sylph might have made him change his mind, thinking, okay, I can get through kind of anything at this point. Let's see this overworld to completion.
I think he has his Paladin front and center. He's going to have that X-Scout to put on him. He's going to be walking down. We'll have to see what he decides to do next. If he's going to try to check one of these Zot or Baron checks, or if he's going to just go straight underground.
Yeah, one of the reasons I love having Paladin Cecil going into the hook route is because, especially when you have so much defensive gear for him as we've seen so far, setting him up in tank mode, going into the hook route. So many bosses in this game rely almost entirely on physical attacks for their damage, and especially in those two spots in the hook route can hit very, very hard. But a defensively equipped backroad Cecil, using his cover command or his auto cover ability, where he automatically takes the damage in place of anybody who is in critical health, can really trivialize a lot of fights. So I really, really like having a Paladin Cecil in my corner when I'm going into the Evelyn Cave and Upper Babel.
Yes, Tank Cecil can tank when you definitely need it.
There's many and evil walls that I've run into in the hook route that Cecil has helped me get through, so...
I think I'm more partial to the Cecil cover strats down in the Feymarch, especially if you've got a nasty boss in the king spot.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You're 100% correct there. That's especially if they're hanging on to some critical key items, that can wall off a lot of players in a seed, and yeah, depending on what the boss's AI script is, Cecil can be an enormous help there.
Frankie, going to give us a check of the Baron Weapon and Armor shop. Finds Lilith rods in the shop here. It looks like they're going to try to pick up a couple for their Paladins.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of great equipment here for Palom. I think there was an Elven Bow, and that was about the only thing I've seen that's boost wisdom for the equipment slot, or for the weapon slots. Those are definitely nice to see, but not nice to see here is the Alt Gauntlet in the Maga Sister spot. That's going to be a long fight here for Plumeriaknight.
True, but at least this spot is not going to be too particularly bad. It's pretty easy to get through, just annoying, but I'm sure the runners will be happy to see it here, not somewhere like in the Ogopogo spot.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Now, Zot is already a big commitment in terms of time. There's a lot of cutscenes to get through here. You got to get through 2 boss fights, and you're only rewarded 1 key item check. So adding the Alt Gauntlet on top of that, at the end of this, you really want to see it pay off if you're making this play.
In the meantime, Frankie Bones decided to go ahead and just run Baron right now. Let's go ahead and get our objective out of the way.
Yeah, it's one of the adages we've had since the objective system was introduced in Free Enterprise. Do your objectives. You know you got to do them at some point. If you get them out of the way first, they can lead you. They might lead you to your other objectives. You never know. Might as well get them out of the way now. and let that guide your routing going forward. So Frankie Bones playing to the adage here. We'll see if that ends up being advantageous to him.
So if I'm not mistaken, it was Dolls at Bigan's spot when we first started to see a good 20 minutes ago, right?
That is correct. Yeah, it was Calcabrenna here. So not going to be too much of a problem with the amount of multi-target abilities that Frankie Bones has access to. And with all the HP of Vigan being split amongst those 6 targets, I can't imagine him struggling much here.
Surprised if one flame is all it's needed to take care of them all.
Ooh, well. Okay, he's got a firebomb queued up afterwards. Very good. They're all down. No worries whatsoever. So now, if you're in this situation, Gambit, how do you feel about looting Baron Castle here?
I think right now, with the loot I've already got from my Kane and my Cecil, I'm good. I might take those couple chests right there like Frankie did, but I'm not going to do a full loot. I'm just going to grab what I can that's nearby and then keep on moving.
Yeah, I agree. I really like looting Baron Castle, depending on, if I haven't found anything great. There's some, decent chances to get some good stuff in there. But yeah, we've been so blessed with amazing equipment for all of our characters at this point that, yeah, I think Frankie Bones could probably go through the rest of the season without touching another chest and be perfectly fine.
We find the Valvalis sitting on the throne here in Baron. That's a little bit nasty, but shouldn't be too bad in this spot.
Yeah, we've seen some melee attacks go through, and they're hitting for decent amounts of damage, so not an overly insane amount of evasion here. Palin not able to hit with that virus, but we do have Kane in the party, so just like her normal storyline fight, she has a trigger where she goes out of her tornado form, drops her additional evasion when hit by Kane's jump command, and now we can really pour on the hurt before she goes whirling back up again.
Meantime, Plumeriaknight got through that gauntlet, but not without some casualties. Only 3 of the 5 characters still standing at the end of that.
Yeah, the nice thing, though, is the experience is going to be on a per-fight basis, so even if they're not up at the end, they'll still get some of the experience from the fights they were up at the end of. And now you're going to get 2 character checks, and, well, that's Sid. I can't imagine we're too interested in taking him, though. Though we do know that Water Hag is going to be sitting in the Golbez spot, and the Feymarks, that's a very useful bit of intel there.
Yes, it is. That would actually incentivize doing Dwarf Castle the moment I got on the ground, especially if I already got a Warpcaster.
Yeah, yes, indeed. That means one of the 2 bosses there is essentially free, and that's a really nice XP infusion, as well as the experience in that slot is not terrible. And gosh, I would be thinking about the second Kane now with the gear that we have.
Well, I know Plumeriaknight pulled, I think, the second defense sword and second white sphere. So,
okay.
I don't think we'll take that second Kane. Meanwhile, Frankie Bones gets the Rydia from Baron Castle and keeps her, probably hoping to slingshot her up the warp real fast before he gets underground.
Yeah, that warp makes Rydia very, very valuable in these situations, so I like it. I like keeping her around. If you go down the hook route, that's probably going to give her enough XP to get warp right in and of itself, and we do also know that Sylph spell is available for sale, so she can actually contribute offensively and defensively.
And Plumeria actually did take the second Kane.
There's a Luca key. Not the most exciting key item to get here, though you had to do that objective anyway, so it's not like any time was wasted there. Luca key, of course, opens up the sealed cave, but in a flag set with the warp glitch available. The only thing that Luca key could really be useful for, other than another key item to get to that 10 key item level for extra experience, would be if there is a demist hidden in the sealed cave that is holding an item we need. Wyvern sitting in Valvalis' spot. Ouch.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see, especially when you set your agility up with Edge in the center. You want to get that curse ring on somebody and put that person in the center. Make sure you can get that Starveil off.
Yeah, so the unfortunate thing here is having to sit through the cutscene once again before you get another chance at that Wyvern. Really not much you can do in a situation like that. It's just when Wyvern pops up like that, it's never something you can prepare for ahead of time. So hopefully plumeriaknight will be good now and be able to get through. All runners start with a number of Star Veils in this flag set, so I don't believe we've seen them in a shop, but he'll still have the equipment that he needs to get through this. And looks like frankiebones is going to be hot on his tail and checking Zot behind him, it looks like.
I'm waiting for this move. Getting out of Baron, coming out with a bust. You've got to check still on the overward pending. You want to check it for that magma key because it's so much better to do that magma than it is to try to go down that hook route.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And this has been a particularly interesting seed as far as the amount of the overworld that's been available to our runners early. Usually you might get one extra check on the overworld before having to commit to an underground play, but we've seen two here with both the Baron Key and the Earth Crystal. So, yeah, when your only available route is the hook, expend all of your available checks here and see if you can't come up with a magma key, because there's always that fear that if you don't, your opponent will, and they're going to have a huge time advantage on you from having to skip that hook route.
And the fun part about this is normally you can see Wyvern and be like, oh, this is not a way underground, but since we already have the hook, this Wyvern could very well be guarding that magma key.
Correct, yeah. There are certain bosses that can't be guarding your way forward just as a failsafe, since they can be particularly rude. But yeah, since there are two ways underground, and the first one wasn't gated by one of those bosses, that is the Logic's way of getting to the underground, but that doesn't mean there can't be a bonus way as well.
Plumeria gets the Star Veil up this time. Wyvern takes themselves out. Going to get that slingshot up on that Rydia. Going to get her probably the warp really quick. And through, and we'll find out what the key item is shortly.
This is going to be a big key item check, because based on what it is, determine how our runners proceed here.
So at this point, we're only hoping that Frankie decides to take the save after this gauntlet, doesn't just rush in.
Oh, it is the magma key, so the Zot play is huge. We have avoided the hook route here. Both runners are going to be overjoyed to see that.
Plumeriaknight having done Zot, then Baron, gets shot off of Baron. Looks like they're going to go straight in and go ahead and take care of that objective and that check as well.
Yeah, and you've got to be feeling good seeing the magma key after spending so much time in Zot, again, with that gauntlet in there, with how much time you have with the cutscenes, but definitely paying off here with a much easier route into the underworld. And since you now have the knowledge that Waterhag is sitting in that second boss spot in Dwarf Castle, you know that hitting Dwarf Castle early has a strong potential to pay off.
As Commander Leonhardt in chat also pointing out, that is a vanilla magma key, so that's our second slice of vanilla this seed.
We're helping ourselves to, you know, a late night snack.
Yeah, I guess I could go for some vanilla ice cream. I'll be right back.
So yeah, both runners have very solid party setups right now. Neither going to be terribly challenged by anything that they're running into. The big thing is we might see a reset from frankiebones if he's not, because he's also got that edge in that center spot. Might not be looking too good agility-wise going into Wyvern. But yeah, like Gamebit says, definitely hoping that the save is taken. I've one too many times run straight into the second fight of Zot and gotten punished hard for it for not saving. But after getting through the gauntlet, I can't imagine you don't want to take the safety save just in case.
I think he's going to have a little bit more difficulty with that Wyvern because he has the Cecil in this party. So it doesn't matter with Edge in that center spot. That agility is all coming from that Cecil.
That is a very good point that I completely missed. Yeah. That being said, the solution is easy as well. Just throw that curse ring that they both have onto Cecil for this fight and get through the Wyvern that way. But yeah, very, very good points. We do not have the agility agnostic flag set up for this tournament. So Cecil is always going to be your baseline for determining the agility for the entire fight. And that has made him kind of go down in opinion for a lot of players as a result, because he can be kind of a liability, having to manage around his agility the entire game and having to keep him at a low level so that the Zeromus fight doesn't speed up. But there are ways to get around it. We do know that there's a second Cecil available here, and when you have two Cecils, depending on how you put them in the party, you can determine which one is used for agility calculations. So you can use one as a high-powered paladin and the other one as dead weights, and you'll be just fine that way.
If he gets through that gauntlet, is going to go back and save. And all honesty, if you see that Cecil, you hold on to him, because Crystal Sword Cecil trumps all.
Oh, absolutely. You can do all the strategizing, all the tactical setups you want in the world, and a lot of it is going to fail in the face of the power overwhelming of Crystal Sword Cecil.
Ooh, with that dart of the Excal on the Valvalis to finish it, that was impressive.
I like this. Dart has 100% accuracy. You can completely ignore Valvalis' gimmick of all of that evasion and just get through what can otherwise be an annoying fight. Basically committing himself to not using Cecil here, but yeah, I like that, and plumeriaknight is through very quickly.
So if you're a plumeriaknight here, do you go check the Odin throne before you head underground?
Well, let's see. We know Water Hag is out of the running. We know Baron Guards are out of the running. So we're kind of running out of sort of freebie fights. That being said, I might be tempted to at least peek it.
Yeah, I agree. I'd still go down and peek, because if you have like a Bahamut down there, or something else that's relatively free, Kypho Guards comes to mind, that might be something you think about. In frankiebones' case, say you have a Yang down there, that Cecil, that makes it somewhat free.
Yeah, very true. That is one of those fights that can be very nasty in spots with high punch and power. But Paladin Cecil will completely neutralize that fight, because the story trigger of Paladin Cecil hitting on the second round of Yang's AI script, ending the fight immediately, is still in there, and it looks like we might be getting a peek at the Odin throne.
In the meantime, Frankie got the surprise Wyvern and not able to get a Star Rail up in time. Changing things around, going for it for a second time. Yeah, plumeriaknight diving down towards that Odin throne. We'll find out shortly who's here.
Yeah, I am really interested to see who is here, and if it's somebody that's beatable, and if so, if there is something that kind of breaks the seat open here. We still haven't been to the underworld, so there's still plenty down there, but this is one of those checks that a lot of people can just kind of overlook. Oh, no, get out of there. Get out of there. No, abort, abort, abort. I mean, I applaud plumeriaknight giving this a try. I would have already reset at this point.
If you got Star Veils, the magic power is high enough, and where Golbez should be able to take himself out on the Reflects pretty decently, as long as you can get a Veil up.
Yeah, that's a good point. Getting the Veil up is going to be the hard part, but we do have his Kane immune to that hold gas, depending on how these destructs roll. If Kane is still on his feet, then plumeriaknight might have himself a win here. All right, the second Kane is down, looking good. We've got Palom. It's got to not be Kane. Not Kane. He might get through this.
All he had.
Please have a Star Veil. Oh, he's got to pop the Moon Veil. Is it worth it? He's going to give it a try.
Yeah, worst case scenario, this doesn't go well and he gets his Moon Veil back, but with any luck, he can get through this.
Very smart there from plumeriaknight, equipping the White Spear over the Defense Sword here. Golbez has two weaknesses, one to fire, because that armor, it gets very hot in there, and the other to Holy, because, you know, he's a bad guy. Oh, wow, that Lit 3 hitting for almost 9,000 damage. Kane hitting 1,200 with that White Spear. Yeah, this fight's going to be over very, very quickly.
Yeah, it takes us about 4 or 5 reflected spells plus a little bit of damage, and this should be over.
Yeah, if this doesn't pay out, though, I'm definitely resetting and safe scumming my my Moonveil back.
Frankie's saying, nope, I'm not even going to check the other throne. We're just going to grab... We're actually going to check, I'm assuming, the shop here, since we got the magma from Earth Crystal.
Oh, just a pink tail.
That is not what you wanted to see if you're Plumeria Knight.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a very good piece of gear, but we've already been blessed with pieces of gear. He's not resetting out, though. Gonna take it. And you know he's at, let me count this up here. He's sitting at, that's his 7th key item, I believe.
Yeah.
So you know, I don't hate keeping this here. Because that's gonna get you significantly closer to that 10 key items you want. If there's sirens anywhere in the underworld, you can do an egg grind at 10 key items and have a very, very easy time with the rest of the seeds. So I don't hate keeping the pigtail here.
The sirens down in Eblin, but do have hourglass 2s, so Frankie Bones picking up a stack of those. Those could come in handy later. Looks like Plumeria Knight might be doing the same thing. Gonna go check that Eblin shop, see what's down here. Or is actually gonna go turn in that pigtail right now, see what we get.
Yeah, might as well, if you're going to head in that direction anyway, might as well grab another piece of high-tier gear. And let's see what he's rewarded with.
Show me Crystal Sword.
A white shirt. Not bad, but we don't have a white mage yet, so not exactly useful right now.
I mean, Cecil could technically equip it.
That's true. Cecil could Rydia can actually equip it too while she's a child. I don't think she can equip it when she grows up. I might be wrong on that. Either way, it boosts will, so all it is magic defense for her. It's not helping any of her summons or black magic, which I'll work off of her wisdom.
But again, she can equip it here, and as long as you don't take it off of her once you complete Dwarf Castle, she can keep it on the whole way.
Yeah, but that's cheating.
Maybe that looked like they were thinking about looting for a second and said, nope, I'm just here to do a shop check. Let's not risk the stalemate.
Yeah, not a ton of reward in checking this when you've already got as much gear as you do. So yeah, I don't blame Plumeria for giving that a second thought and deciding not to check the chests.
Meantime, Frankie Bones tosses a key down a well. A mountain explodes because that's what happens when you toss keys down wells.
I imagine there's just some dwarf at the bottom of the crater, and when the key hits him in the helmet, that's his trigger to, like, press a button. That sounds like a very dwarven thing to do.
Yeah, I can go with that.
It's the job dwarf's brother. His job is to press the button when magma key hits him. So
Frankie Bones being into the Feymarch, Maria is going to make this character check.
Interesting. I'm kind of curious what he might be looking for. Probably a white mage is what he's thinking first and foremost. We haven't seen a white mage at this point. Might be getting a little anxious about the healing situation going into the late game. So I don't hate this check, especially if there's Rose at the end of it. That would be a huge payoff.
That's just a third.
Another paladin. Not interested. Can cast white magic, but not to the degree that he's looking for.
So we had first Cecil, we had second Cecil, and now we have third Cecil.
Yeah, not only do we have third Cecil, but we have enough gear to equip all 3 of those Cecils if we really wanted to. But a very generous seed.
Frankie Bones did end up finding the warrior's chest, was able to reset back out and be able to full loot everything else in this cave.
Yeah, safe scumming that warrior chest in the Feymarch here has been a really popular play this tournament. I've really liked it. Some really good gear to be found in these Feymarch chests, so I really like runners sort of taking advantage of saving and reloading like that.
Meantime, I believe Mary Knight just found a Murasame in one of the chests there in Eblin.
That's huge. That's going to be great for Edge. A Murasame plus a longsword is going to take... Oh my god, a Zeus Gauntlet as well! Yeah, Edge is set. Or if he wants to put that on Kane, since Kane is pretty stacked as well. That's going to be great. And a Bahamut summon in the free chest there. That's going to make Rydia fantastic. Everyone available in this seed is just getting stronger and stronger.
See, I'd wait on that Zeus Gauntlet until you do Dwarf Castle, then stick it on that Rydia. Just keep her white shirt and Zeus Gauntlet, because it'd be funny.
There you go. We have seen a Heroine robe, though. I believe that was in the Waterfall Cave earlier. So, Heroine robe plus Zeus Gauntlet and a Dragon Whip on Rydia, and she actually becomes a really respectable frontline fighter. You can actually take her into a Berserker stacked party in the Zeroma. She's not going to have much in the way of HP, but she's going to do a decent amount of damage in the last fight if you really need her to.
Frankiebones taking that Bahamut, immediately learning it with Rydia. That's going to do a lot of damage for this mid-game right here.
Yeah, not only does Bahamut just do an absolutely absurd amount of damage, it is all targeting and does not receive a penalty for all targeting, so it can just wipe the floor with most of these bosses in the underworld. The only problem it might run into is if we get any of those lunar bosses, most of them have hard counters scripted into their AI against Rydia summons, because the developers realized, oh hey, the summon magic's really powerful. Let's let's find a way to limit it here in the end game. So many of those Lunar Sparkles have nasty things to counterattack Rydia with if she uses a summon, but we're going into one of them here. It's Ogopogo, and that is Ogo no, we're out.
Yeah, but that's Mylon and Friends in the Shura spot. That's actually very doable, even at these levels.
Yeah, most certainly. It's these spots are going to be very punchy with their attack power here at this level, but the nice thing about Mylon is only thing he does is cast Lit 1, and it might hit for a bit, but it's definitely going to be manageable. And yeah, wouldn't be surprised if Frankiebones makes a play on that Mylon and Friends here.
Ooh, Frankiebones did not have enough money to stay at the inn. Had to sell a couple things to get enough money to get the heal.
Yeah, those Eidolons are pretty extortionate when it comes to their inn prices.
Now you had to go all those damage tiles just to get down there, and then they're going to overcharge you for the hotel room? Come on.
Yeah, I smell a scam, honestly.
Okay, though, heading down to Tamra, are we going to get our Jaw Dwarf check?
Heading there. Oh, whoop, veered off to the weapon shot. Going to keep us guessing. Back into the warehouse. A marine surveyor. Shout outs to anybody taking marine biology right now.
Meantime, plumeriaknight finding coffins in the Tamra shop. That's a nice little find.
Yeah, great items there with a ton of uses, both in grind situations and for fighting certain bosses. Really, really useful items. So definitely going to grab some there. And here comes the Bahamut. That is going to take out these ghasts pretty easily here. Oh, well, no, Quake's going to do it first. Bahamut's just going to hit Mylon very hard.
Yeah, these lit ones you see are doing very minimal damage. Punch is going to be probably in the neighborhood of 300 to 500, depending on who it hits, but still not enough to worry about.
Yeah, one of the less dangerous Fame March bosses that you can run into. A lot of bosses in these spots can just be absolutely terrifying because of how jacked up the stats are in these spots. A lot of people like to fade these checks, but really good game knowledge from Frankiebones, knowing that Mylon, the original Mylon fight is very doable here, and he's going to get through, and this might pay off here. Plumeriaknight hot on his heels, though, coming in with the Fame March checks here.
And this fight's got a little bit hairy for Frankiebones. Mylon decided to hit Rydia, took her out very quickly, then quickly lit one Cecil, took him out, and now we're down to about 3 characters up.
Yeah, one of the nice saving graces to this fight is there's no multi-target damage whatsoever. Everything is single target, so even if you get into a hairy situation like this, it is largely recoverable.
Yeah, plus that Bahamut from Rydia is just going to do work here.
Yeah, there are very few problems in life you can't solve by throwing a gigantic Dragon King at them.
Even got the oh my body skip.
Just a protect ring, but you know, decent piece of kit. Probably not what Frankie Bones was hoping for, but at least that's one less fight he has to worry about. That Ogopogo, though, sitting in the Leviathan spot is going to be weighing hard on my nerves for the rest of the seed if I am in Frankie Bones' position here.
Yeah, that's something I probably last location. I mean, I will do Dwarf and I will do Top of Tower before I come back to that.
Yeah. Agreed. That is by no means an easy fight.
Now, both our runners heading straight over to Dwarf Castles, heading straight to the pot to heal up, and I'm willing to bet we'll see simultaneous Dwarf Castle checks here in a second.
Yeah, looks like we're getting a little bit of a high five from our runners here. Dwarf Castle. Well, no, I'm gonna head over to Tomra first and check out there. So plumeriaknight looks like he's gonna be the first person in a Dwarf Castle. Frankie Bones might be hot on their heels, though.
Frankie Bones realized they hadn't checked Job Dwarf yet. Need to go take care of that real fast.
Yeah, it may be past midnight, but Rex Roll could always still be watching, and you don't want to get caught not doing the Dwarf Castle check, or excuse me, the Job Dwarf check if he is indeed.
Yep, even if all you do is walk in, check him, and walk right out without even looting. I wouldn't know about that. I didn't do that on my last seed. I don't know what you're talking about. So plumeriaknight heading straight into the Dwarven throne room, and that is a Karate Man hanging out behind the wall.
Yep, this is going to be really good news for Frankie Bones. We'll be able to much more easily get through this fight. Shouldn't be too terribly difficult for plumeriaknight either. This spot does have a large amount of HP to have to get through, but not going to be terribly scary, I don't think.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, those hits are probably going to hit for about 150 to 200 each. Those kicks are about to be about the same, just a lot of HP.
A good call there. Almost right on the money. You also got Rydia that can just burst through everything. If you absolutely need to heal, she can throw that Sylph out. But for the time being, it's probably just going to be power overwhelming with that Bahamut spell.
Yeah, 8,000 damage from that Bahamut. Karate goes down. Thank you for coming.
I believe that is Sirens for sale in Dwarf Castle, so that's really, really nice. Getting very close to that 10 key item breakpoint, and once I get there, I'm going to be thinking very, very hard about cracking some eggs open, making the rest of the seed a cakewalk.
Hey, it's our water hag. We remember you. And hey, how about fourth Cecil?
This seed is just saying to plumeriaknight, hey, please take a paladin, please? Please take one? But plumeriaknight, despite their name, not interested in taking the Holy Knight.
Anna telling Wesley Crusher to fight. Fight Wesley and be strong. So are we hoping for 5th Cecil on the Lunar Dais at this point, maybe?
Oh, absolutely. I'm always hoping for 5 Cecils. And if our runners have to end up completing the Giant of Babel, I'm hoping there's a Cecil in there too. What would make Cecil our only white magic spellcaster after Rydia grows up?
Either this sure or Rydia, that'll be fine, right?
Cecil using Cure 2 to keep everybody up, and Rydia throwing out his Suras. Yeah, everything's fine.
Antidel in chat with Cecil as Picard telling us that there are 4 Cecils. Points for all those deep cut Trekkies out there who understand that reference.
There's the Rat Tail. That's another key item check, and 8 key items here for plumeriaknight. Nice find inside of the Luca cave there. And let's see what Luca herself has.
I mean, with a cane in your party, that's not a bad item to see, just not what you wanted.
Yeah, probably the rat tail is the biggest takeaway there.
I was hoping the Plumerian Knight doesn't sell it right here for money before seeing that those sirens are there, because that'll help with that grind. The Dragoon Spear cane taking on those eggs, it'll be nice and quick.
Yeah, one of the great things about Kane's high-tier weaponry is just the effective damage it takes with it. We already saw using that White Spear to do holy damage that's effective on Zeromus, but you also have access to the Dragoon Spear, which is effective damage against dragons, and it just so happens that a lot of the more powerful grind options for your party involves fighting dragons, so Dragoon Spear can be very useful for that. We do also have all the pieces we need for Warrior Princess Rydia, too. We've got the Zeus Gauntlet, the Heroine Robe, the Dragon Whip. So I don't know if we're going to see her busted at any point, but that makes me happy.
Plumerian Knight looked like they were heading to Fabold and decides I'm going to do Rat Tail check. I don't think Plumerian has done Sylph to even set up Sheila 1, has he?
I don't believe so. I don't think anybody has been into Sylph Cave at this point. I don't recall seeing it on either runner's screen. So, yeah, that is still up in the air here. Might be hoping to find that pan first and avoid the double dip.
That's my thought. And you never know. Could be burned. We might have a vanilla pan. Stranger things have happened.
And Sheila likes to have the goods, and sometimes the goods are the goods you wish you didn't have. There's a PA key item, but not the one we're hoping for. Still, that does give us Zeromus access, so there's the potential for a Haunted Moon here.
So right now, to my knowledge, all that we've got left is an Ogopogo at Leviathan, this Sheila 1 check, and then top of tower. Those are the only things we haven't seen yet.
That is correct. We have seen a lot of keyless towers pay off this tournament. This might be another situation where that is the case as well. I would really like to see some of our runners give that a try.
We could still have a cheeky Demas somewhere. I don't think anyone's checked Vanilla Demas Cave, so...
Yeah, that's correct. We still do also have those two bosses. Well, only one boss. We saw the sprite for one when we saw it with Cecil. I forget who it was, but definitely wasn't Demas.
It was Dark Elf.
It was Dark Elf, okay. So there's still one boss down the Hook Route that could be demissed, and yeah, like you said, the one in the Vanilla Demas location could also be hiding out there, but yeah, that is also on the table as well.
So be that Demas in Luca Cave.
Yes, very good point. We talked about that earlier, that's really the only value outside of a key item counting towards your total that Luca Key really has in this flag set. If there's a Demas down there, that could be a really, really trolly spot for this. Plumerian Knight's going to get his first look at Hobbs and is going to see that there's a Cecil up there.
At this point, after dismissing the Cecils he's dismissed, I don't see him taking this one.
Yeah, this is probably looking for Demas at this point, if I had to guess.
That is music from Sheila 1. Will we get some harp on the stream?
Oh, I can't imagine we won't. We're, like you said, we're running out of key item checks, so I've got a feeling we're going to be seeing some music checked here before long.
Yeah, definitely check that music over that Ogopogo spot. And since we're already up on the overworld, no sense going back down to that top of tower before I check that harp. But frankiebones might prove me wrong. Might be heading back over there. Nope, just going to go check in that rat tail real fast.
Yeah, and this is actually Plumerian Knight's first time in Fabul. I'd forgotten that he actually did not do the Fabul defense check earlier.
Yeah, frankiebones was the only one who did it. Again, got the Sand Ruby, which is just yet another Palom.
And that's going to be a 9th key item for Plumerian Knight. So rapidly approaching that cutoff for when the grind becomes doubly as effective. And with Sirens already available on the Underground and mages in your party, I've got to imagine that's got to be a priority once that 10th key item shows up.
And Frankie Bones making that walk up to the Chocobo Forest. Looks like we're going to get some Twin Heart music.
Very, very excited. Some late night music, some nice after dark tunes here for everybody. And there's the Twin Heart.
Yeah, that's 10th key item for plumeriaknight.
Yep, that's a huge milestone for him. That's going to, honestly, maybe grind up and try to take that Ogopogo on, but even grinding up that Ogopogo fight's still going to be difficult because a lot of your damage right now is going to be coming in that burst damage from black magic spells, and we all know Ogopogo has a nasty, nasty percentage HP-based counter to any magic effects used on it, so that fight, even after a grind, is still going to be a pain.
I'm going to go check, see who's in the Sandory spot, see that Palom. I don't expect him to take it.
Yeah, as great as the gear has been, it hasn't been a ton of mage equipment. We haven't seen anything like a Stardust Rod or anything like that. Maybe double checking to see if it's a Porum. It's very difficult to tell. I always get it mixed up in this spot. Let's see if he does the same thing that Frankie Bones did.
Yep, checking to see if it was for him as soon as it sits out. Frankie Bones showing good thought, saying, okay, I just did Silk Cave. I'm still low levels. Let's go do Twin Heart now while I'm still at 1 HP.
Yeah, it's one of those routing optimizations you always want to keep in mind. This is a very, very easy way to get that cutscene skip in. Being a low on health, so that initial flurry of black magic spells will off your party. But it's about time for the rockin' tunes of DJ Spoony B. So we'll be right back with you with more Free Enterprise After Dark. Don't go anywhere.
Some good old windmill hut from Zelda there. Maggot Sister is a little bit rough in this spot just because of the magic defense, but Frankie Bones able to get through. Meanwhile, plumeriaknight going right back into that same fight.
Yeah, how about non-core?
That's spicy. That's a darkness crystal.
Yeah, we have to at least say, yeah, that darkness crystal's big. I mean, you probably already know that, but now you have the commentators confirming that darkness crystal, big. Okay, music time. All right, we're back. Great musical interlude there from our runners, essentially high-fiving here in Cave Magnus. This is an incredibly close race, and now that the Darkness Crystal is in play, I think the deciding factor is going to be how our runners decide to route this going forward. It looks like frankiebones might be immediately committing to this moon.
Not a bad play. I mean, going up there, seeing there's still a lot of free fights we haven't seen. Have not seen the Kaipo guards, have not seen Bahamut. Cutting up here, seeing if we can find a free fight and possibly get a good key item out of it. It's pretty good play.
Yeah, we also have hourglasses and sirens available to our runners here, so that King Ryu fight in the lunar subterrane is looking mighty appealing. Now that both runners have 10 key items to get your team into endgame levels very, very quickly.
And frankiebones will be the first one to head into the lunar dais. Let's see if we can find that 5th Cecil we all want.
Let's go. Come on.
That's an old man. If I'm Frankie, that changes what I do next.
That is interesting. That puts the D machine grind on the table. And while you might be thinking, well, you've already got all these other grind options, why would you be looking at the D machine? Well, look at that objective list. We need to complete the Giant of Babel for one of the objectives. If Frankie takes that Tella, does a D machine grind, and then just goes right into completing the Giant from there, he's just a single key item away from go mode.
And he does get rid of Rydia, takes to Tella. We could be seeing a D machine. Meantime, plumeriaknight juking us all out, making that keyless tower play.
Yeah, I really love that we're getting this kind of divergence from the runners here. frankiebones finding that Darkness Crystal, immediately wanting to throw all of his eggs into the moon basket. plumeriaknight saying, okay, we got this Darkness Crystal. Okay, I'm not going to let this deviate me from what I'm doing here. There's still some value that could be had here on the underworld. Let's see this through to completion before we commit to the moon. So we'll see which philosophy ends up working out here. And oh, did frankiebones reset? Is he having second thoughts about the character he takes here, maybe?
He might be. He went back down. Looks like he was going to think about setting up for the Baron Manip. For the D machine, and then reset, either forgot to save or had second thoughts.
Yeah, I can see maybe wanting to take Rydia here. One of the problems with Rydia is, okay, getting rid of Kane. Yeah, he wants to do reflex strats here, I think. Because, yeah, one of the problems with Rydia is getting her to the place where she can cast Nuke requires substantially more XP than it does with, say, Palom. But when you have access to a D machine grind and you're already at your 10 key items, so you're getting double experience from every dragon, that's going to make it way easier for Rydia to get to the levels you want her to be for endgame. So I like this. I think this is a great idea, taking her instead, and having access to double nuke, and yeah, like maybe having access to those reflex strats for Zeromus.
Yeah, it's a very nice strategy, thinking of going just straight up hybrid, having both Rydia and Palom with, Rydia Palom with Cecil and Edge. I can remember people.
Yeah. But now Frankie's at the Peninsula of Power and might be doing eggs instead, so what do we know?
Might be just doing a couple eggs real fast to get a couple quick levels to make the D machine a little bit easier, but I don't know what their other situation is. Maybe they don't want to risk Teller running out of MP before they get all the levels they need.
Yeah, there's a couple things you might be thinking here. But yeah, probably just looking for a little bit of security here. And I missed on plumeriaknight. What was the top of tower?
I missed it as well, but whatever it wasn't worth keeping because he leased it out real fast.
Yeah, it looks like our tracker Ager saying was the heroin robe. So yeah, not interested in that. The keyless tower play not paying off, and now plumeriaknight's probably panicking a little bit because that is it's a check that really didn't go anywhere.
Now your choice is that Ogo Pogo at Leviathan or Moon. And that's an interesting find. Soma drops for sale in Silvera.
Yeah, he's got the Kane in his party. Might want to give Kane some MP. The only way for Kane to ever have MP is to use a Soma drop on him. So always a strategy to keep in mind.
Oh, plumeriaknight's got 2 Canes, kick up 2 Soma drops, give each of them MP.
Hashtag give Kane MP.
So we'll have to see what plumeriaknight does once he gets up to the moon. If he decides to take that Tella, or if he's happy with the party he has.
Yeah, very interesting. You're picking up some ethers here. You'd almost think that he was preparing for a D-Machine grind, grabbing them, but going to definitely appreciate having those if he finds the Tella and decides, that D-Machine grind is looking really, really nice right around now.
It looks like they're heading straight to Mysidia, going to launch that big whale. Going to probably make the decision to go up to the moon and do a couple checks there.
So thinking about what frankiebones' strategy is here, doing this grind here, he might be looking at Tella as his white mage. That might be his plan here. He might not be thinking D-Machine at all. He might be thinking, well, Tella is the only one with access to high-tier curative magic that I've found so far this seed. So I'm going to level him up and throw this white shirt on him, throw any good staff I can get, and try to get some healing out of him. Because we have not seen any of the more traditional healers in the form of Corum or Rosa. So that might be frankiebones' thought process right here.
Correct. And I did see Cure 3s in Overworld Shop, and usually those showing up there is a good indication of no pure white mage in the seed. So... And I have not seen an Ashura summon hanging out in any shop that I've seen either, so...
Well, you know what that says to me if I don't see a white mage in a seed? That's the fates and the powers that be telling me to quint.
Well, I haven't seen the
I'm also not very good at this game.
I haven't seen the Bacchuses do quint. If we had Bacchuses, I'd agree, but I have not seen those yet either, so...
That's true. We have not seen them, and I think we've seen every shop at this point. So, yeah, maybe quinting not the best strategy.
Reminding us that we can steal wine from the Mad Ogres if we want to take on the Mad Ogre chest in Evelyn Castle.
There you go. That's true. We have that fight, though. Mad Ogres are also available in the trapped chest in Upper Babel. If they want to go down and look for D-Mist down there, that's also on the table. So, yeah, I mean, the Bacchus dream isn't dead. Viridia's got all the tools she needs to be a good Zerker.
We go to Moment of Truth from plumeriaknight, about to go into that lunar dais, about to find that Tella. You're in his situation here. What do you do?
I'm probably thinking the same thing you were thinking. I'm saying, okay, this is Tella. I've got to do the giant anyway. I think a D-Machine is looking really, really good here. I can, not slingshot, but I can get this Rydia up. I can get this Palom up. We can do some reflect strats. Hopefully we won't need solid healing if we're doing reflect strats, because we can get through with only seeing one like nerf Big Bang anyway in Zeronis. But no, not interested in that Tella, and resets out. Gotta go over to Value Cave.
There's always value in Cave Bahamut until there isn't.
There's very strong potential for value here. There's still 2 key items out there that we need as part of objectives. There are plenty of bosses that are relatively easy still in the pool as well. And one of the nice things about Bahamut is that you can get a quick little screen snipe on him by moving to the left and get a preview of what you're in for, get to judge if it's something that you can do or not. So let's see if Plumeria is rewarded here. That's Leviathan. That's very doable, I think.
Yeah, that's not too bad. The magic power here is not the worst, but not the best. Leviathan's not going to hit physically, so don't worry about that. The biggest problem is going to be these waves taking off a quarter of your health every time. With no pure white mage, this could be dicey.
Yeah, you might have to rely a little bit on that Rydia for self-healing, but you can set up Reflex, and Sos will still heal through those Reflex, and it'll take care of the Ice 2 that Leviathan throws out if it turns out they hit a little hard. So it might not be the quickest fight, but it's definitely doable. Yeah, very manageable on those Ice 2s, yeah, so can probably avoid doing Reflex.
Board AI knowing exactly who to hit went right after that Rydia.
Yeah, that board face AI really showing its stuff. The secret truth of free enterprise is, we think it's just a fun video game experience, but it's actually a clandestine experiment testing out a AI that is designed for optimal trolling.
You're gonna let it hear you. You're gonna let it know we know.
God darn it. Oh, hang on. There's some men in black outside my front door. I'll be right back.
In the meantime, while you deal with them, Plumeriaknight getting through this Leviathan quite nicely, managing to hold his own. Those Ice 2s still coming out, hurting a little bit, but making sure to get the spells off, get the healing when you need it. Tossing some Cure 2s. Should be fine, able to get through this just fine.
Hello, this is Smapety. I have returned. I would like to say that any statements about any possible AI projects were entirely fraudulent, and I retract 100%. And no one should ask anything further about any project Boardface is working on regards to artificial intelligence.
In the meantime, frankiebones heading up to the top of the tower. He's going to find that pale dim. Love to see if he decides to keep the heroine robe or if he's going to reset back out. And Plumeriaknight getting through that Leviathan at Cave Bahamut. About to find out if we have some value here.
Yeah, this is going to be a very important reveal, and it is, well, it's exactly what you'd think it is.
Paging Dathis to FE After Dark. Paging Dathis to FE After Dark, thank you.
So, big swing and a miss there for Plumeriaknight. Unfortunately, not even a ton of experience from the Bahamut spot either, but still going to take what he gets and get out of there. And now this will be interesting to see where he goes from here, because he's already reset out of that telecutscene, so may not be interested in going further. And he's going to go to the Giant of Babel here, it looks like.
Maybe he knows that there's still a couple free bosses still left. He's going to hope to get one of those in that element spot. Get the levels you need to get through.
Yeah, getting through the element spot with 10 key items is a huge infusion of XP for your team. So yeah, maybe gonna take a look here, see if it's something he can do. And I think he's saved on the moon, so if it's not a boss he likes, he can reset out, head back to the moon, and make a decision from there.
In the meantime, frankiebones is walking that heroine road back out. Maybe he just wants to keep the experience.
Yeah, it might be the case there. I mean, he's already done a bit of grinding, so maybe it might be better to do a reset, but he also might not have had a save outside as well. So either way, not getting rewarded for that keyless tower check, which is unfortunate. It's a play I really like to see.
So that leaves Frankie Bones with the question, do I tangle with that Ogopogo and Leviathan? Do I go to the moon? Do I go to the giant? What to do?
Yeah, I got to think that moon is looking more and more attractive here to Frankie Bones. He's done a grind on eggs here, so his characters are feeling really powerful. There's so many open key item spots on the moon here. We still need, honestly, any one of those key items, either the adamant or the pan, puts you in effectively go mode, because then you just have to run through the giant for that last objective. So the moon is looking like a really, really strong play here.
Knight healing up. Not sure, it might just be tournament nerves. Oh, there's the reset. Maybe forgot that you get the free heal from the element spot anyway.
And here's a check. Let's see who is waiting there on the bridge.
That is decidedly not free. And with a real white mage, that is not nice.
It's not. You do have Rydia. She does have Sylph to keep you topped off, and the damage isn't going to kill you very fast. It's 10% per Mazer there, but wow, this is going to be a slog.
Yep. Back relaxes. That's 65,000 hit points on that main orb. So we're going to be here for a while.
Yeah, gosh, you know, if I'm Plumeriaknight here, I might just chaincast Bahamut and just revive people with the Globe 199s, because I just need to be doing as much damage as possible. 2,000, that's going to be, you know, over 30 casts of Sylph to get through. You know, you got your other characters, but they're going to be having to hit the thing in the back. You can't insert them up. Just nothing about this is going to be fun.
Ace has already gone through a full round, almost full 2 rounds of battle, and that Remedy Orb is still up.
Yeah, that's going to be restoring 10% of the main bits HP per turn. You want to get that down very, very quickly so that you're not it's not undoing a lot of your work. There it goes. So now finally we'll be able to get some damage in that's not going to be healed. But yeah, it's still going to be a long fight.
Even though Quake's barely doing 1,200, this is just going to be a slog.
Yeah, there are a couple of tricks you can do to make this go a little bit faster. Unfortunately, Plumeriaknight does not have the mages to make any of those tricks work. One thing you can do is try to reflect float to hit the node, the attacker node, and not the CPU itself, so that you can use Quake on it and do some damage without, you know, killing everything and going into a Globe 199 phase. Another thing you can do is cast Blink on the attacker node, and then berserk up your teammates, and then just reapply Blink over and over as the attacks hit it. But again, we don't have access to any of that because there just is not any support magic really to be had in Plumeriaknight's team.
Frankie Bones decides, I want to dive the moon. Looks like they did take that teller, though. Oh, wait, we already knew he took the Tella. What am I thinking?
Yeah, he actually went and leveled that Tella up. It was probably going to be relying on that Tella for healing, because that's really the only source of white magic here that we've seen. One thing that could be big for Plumeriaknight, if he makes this play and there ends up being a Rosa or a Porum at the end of the Giant, that could be huge because they're going to be in prime slingshot territory going into the moon for the rest of his checks. And now we see. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, as you were saying, Plumeriaknight pulls out that Bahamut, and here come the Globe 199s.
Yeah, interesting. This is one of the spots where they actually don't do their full 9999, but you know, they're doing as much as as much as they need to.
And not to be mentioned board AI doing not to be mentioned board AI things.
There is no board AI in Bossing Say. Going to that ribbon spot, this is 2 potential key item checks. And we are running into Vanilla D-Lunars here.
So is that 4 or 5 vanilla now? I've lost count.
This is getting ridiculous. It's a randomizer. So this should not be a tough fight whatsoever here for Frankie Bones' setup. He's got those high-level black magic spells to do a significant amount of damage. He's going to get a nice boost in XP as well. He's already done his grind. He's going to get a few more levels on all of his team with that double experience spot here, which is a normally a very high XP spot in and of itself. And yeah, we're going to bust out the Cure 4 with Tella here. Let's go.
Big old, just shy of 400 healing Cure 4. Love
and he can do that, what, twice before he runs out of MP? Now, D-Lunar is one of those bosses that has a programmed hard counter to summons from Rydia. However, it's one of the easiest to deal with. They just heal themselves for, I think, 10% of their total HP. Not the worst thing in the world. It just means essentially Rydia is doing 2,000 less damage with Bahamut. And considering she's nearly hitting the damage cap with that, that's a good trade-off.
We've already got one D-Lunar down. If we can keep Palom alive to get at least one, maybe two more nukes off, we should be able to take the other one out with no problem.
Yep, Rydia is already winding up another Bahamut. This might be the end of the fight here. Not quite. Well, you can't spell Asuka without a couple of the letters from Dathis. Makes you think. Ooh, there's that breath spell. But Palom makes it through unscathed. Should be able to still throw some spells out.
Yep, all we needed was one more nuke, and that gets us there. A little sad that Palom and Rydia are the only two to get experience here, but shouldn't be an issue.
Big thing is Rydia gets that nuke spell, so that she's going to be good for the end game. There's the pan. That is huge.
So Frankie is basically in go mode at this point. Question is, do you keep looking for that adamant up on the moon, or do you commit to turning into pan and then doing the giant?
I mean, if I'm playing this seed logically, then the play is go with the objectives you know you can complete. You know you can complete Babel, you know you can complete the pan, just go ahead and do it and get to the end of the game. If you were going to stick around on the moon hoping to get the adamant when it's not necessarily there, that would be a huge gamble. I would only do that if I was sure I was in a desperate situation that I was way behind my opponent. So yeah, Frankie exiting out, gonna play this the straight way here. I think this is the right thing to do.
Yeah, it isn't even going to turn into pan first. I would have probably gone down and turned into pan just in case it did lead to the adamant. We're going straight to the giant. Going to go ahead and try working on that objective. In the meantime, Plumeriaknight through that CPU. Going to go back and save.
So yeah, this is big. Plumeriaknight is through. Is going to get the first one done here, but there is no potential here for Plumeriaknight to get progression here. There's no key item at the end of the Giant of Battle. He's only going to get that objective clear. So he still has to find either the pan or the adamant. So this is starting to look really, really good for Frankie Bones. Plumeriaknight's got to make a play and has got to make it soon.
See, there's no progression here, but we could always still have our fabled D-Mist at CPU holding that adamant.
You are absolutely right. I had forgotten. D-Mist has not been found yet. Plumeriaknight doesn't know it, but might really need this to be D-Mist here.
This is D-Mist here. We might still have a very, very close race. If it's not, Frankie has taken a big lead fighting that pan. That is as free as we can get.
It is free. It starts with D, but it's not the D-Mist we were hoping for. So the good news is Plumeriaknight's going to get through this fight way faster than that CPU fight. We'll get back on the hunt and hopefully back on track here. A little bit of spell rearranging here for Frankie Bones. There is only one spell you want your Black Mages casting at this point. might as well put it front and center.
Plumeriaknight, Rydia not going to get any XP and resets out. Wants to make sure that Rydia gets that XP.
Yeah, don't blame him. He hasn't done a grind yet and is probably trying to avoid having to do a grind whatsoever. So, yeah, resetting this, making sure all of your characters are going to get the experience is a good play here. I don't know if he has any hourglasses, but if he does, throwing one of those would be really big here and make this way easier to deal with.
And chat pointing out, I would also back row that Rydia, trying to make it where she's get a little bit extra buffer to survive this fight.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Obviously, your Canes are back row glitched, so they're going to be, doing full damage from the back, but they're still going to take hits way better than that Rydia ever could.
It looks like he might have it this time. Got the 2 down. He gets the coffin off. Got the life up on Rydia. She's going to get the experience. That is a nice, sizable chunk of change. Almost a 500,000. It's actually even a 500,000. So.
Quake, Stone, Weak, Fatal, Nuke. She's got it. Good job there for Plumeriaknight, making sure Rydia is going to be endgame ready here.
Now we get to find out what character we have hiding behind a giant. Show me 5th Cecil.
How about 4th Kane, I think?
And that is a 4th Kane, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
It's not a white mage, that's for sure. So I hope you like Cure 3s, because that's going to be your best way to heal in this Zeromus fight. And that is objective number 2 down for Plumeriaknight. Plumeriaknight needs to start hustling, though, because still is a full key item away from go mode at this point.
So if you're Plumeriaknight here, do you go back down, try to take on that Ogopogo before going to the moon? Or do you go ahead and go up and start working on the moon?
I've got to go to the moon here. Looking at my team, I just don't feel like there's any way I would have a chance against Ogopogo. There's so much damage going out in that fight, and you have to be keeping up with it because it's all percentage HP based damage, and there's just no way to be keeping up with all of that healing and reasonably be able to do that fight. I'm fading Ogo all the way this seed, I think.
This is an interesting choice by Plumeriaknight, going ahead and looting Castle Ebland right here. Not sure what exactly he's looking for.
I bet you anything he's looking for that Mad Ogre fight so that he can steal himself some Bacchus wines, like we were talking about earlier.
He's reset out of the Lilith and the Staleman and Skull Chest. That might be a smart idea.
Ooh, there's another power robe. That's good to find.
Hey, a Drain Spear and an Avenger.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I mean, that could be your Z strategy if you really wanted to.
I have done it before. It was a Cataseed, granted, but yeah, no. Because of the way the Avenger glitch works, you can actually use the Drain Sword and Drain Spear to solo Zeromus. You can set up the to start have either of the drain weapons equipped, and then you'll want to keep the character in the center row for the accuracy boost because you're going to be dealing with a really terrible accuracy of those weapons. But then when you're in the fight, swap out to the Avenger. The way the Avenger glitch works is it doesn't actually update what weapon you have equipped, but it will give you the auto berserk quality of the Avenger. So then you're going to have a single character essentially beating Zeromus over and over, healing themselves up. And they can get as long as they have enough HP to survive the big bangs, they can solo the fight.
ladies and gentlemen, you can solo Threemus with pretty much any character. I think my favorite one to watch is a solo Tella taking it on. Takes a while, but it's fun.
Yeah, as long as you know what you're doing. Threemus is a very interesting fight in that regard. And that there's so many different strategies to taking them on, but all of them require such a high degree of just understanding the fight and just skill being able to actually take it on. We've seen Edward strats before that came into vogue for a while for doing incredibly low-level plays on Threemus. But that's just kind of one of the examples of all these different ways you have to take on that last fight.
Meantime, Plumeriaknight found the Mad Ogre chest. Looks like they are working on stealing some Bacchus. Also found some very nice gear in the rest of Outland. Found a ninja sword at first, then another Murasame. So it's rocking double Murasames on that edge.
That is really, really big. We talked about earlier about making sure that you've got the gear on edge that is actually contributing damage into the late game when those short swords just don't cut it anymore. Double Murasame means he's going to be an absolute terror in the final fight when it comes to damage.
Plumeriaknight did get a hourglass off on these ogres, so they're just going to kind of sit there and let Edge do whatever he feels like doing, which in this case is stealing some wine.
Yeah, one of the nice things about stealing in Final Fantasy IV is enemies don't just have one item. Steal to your heart's content.
Meantime, frankiebones still working his way through this CPU fight, but has it looking very managed at the current moment.
And it looks like he's happy with his Bacchus total. He's going to kill the ogres off. And now all those frontline fighters in Plumeriaknight's party are going to have their weight in wine. Ooh, wow, Excalibur. Too bad we haven't taken any of those 5 Cecil.
And it's like, well, how dare you not take a Cecil? I want to give you another Cecil sword.
When a seed wants you to take Cecil, they really want you to take Cecil.
I'm going to be curious to see where Plumeria goes from here. Having completed the giant already, again, has the Ogo, has the moon. What would you do?
I gotta be thinking moon. I can't. Well, unless that was the reason he went for Bacchus's, was to kind of zerk everybody up for the Ogo fight. But even then, I just don't think it's enough damage to outpace the incoming damage there. But we'll see.
So come back in, take a quick nap inside the whale. I have a feeling we're going to see him go back up to the moon.
Nope, going for the control panel. Maybe he's going for Ogopogo.
Yeah, I was seeing maybe flying back to the Enterprise and going to go back underground.
Meanwhile, over on frankiebones' screen, the sword of Damocles is inching ever closer on Plumeriaknight's neck as frankiebones is through the CPU fight and is one step closer to completing the giant and getting into go mode here.
Plumeria's going to check for that Vanilla Demas.
Yeah, we have not seen good old Derek showing up anywhere. Oh, Vanilla Demas, this could be huge.
Hey, I wrote it earlier in chat. We've never seen Asuka and Athos in the same room together. I'm just saying.
We have not. We have not. If this is the adamant, then everything changes. And what does Mrs. Rydia have for us?
Womp, womp.
Close. It's the reward from the adamant. But, yeah, about those Cecils. About them Cecils.
Yeah, it's one of those situations like, can I tear it apart? Because, I mean, I tear it apart, that gives me a Legend Sword of Adamant, right? But unfortunately not. But Plumeriaknight going to go take on that Ogopogo.
Yeah, apparently Plumerian Knight needs to work on his desynthesis skills, cannot break it down into components.
Meantime, yeah. Frankie got that hourglass off on those Dark Imps, is working on taking him out, getting some extra XP from them. Going to be through, going to have their second objective down very shortly.
And yeah, Plumerian Knight is going to throw himself at this Ogo. I really want to see how he tries to handle this. This is going to be an incredibly difficult fight. I just looking at his party, I don't think that it's got what it takes to get through, but I would love to be proven wrong. He's got all those Excaliburs for throwing. Maybe he's going to try Dart Strats here.
Yeah, at this point, Plumeria needs this Ogo to be adamant. Otherwise, this one is probably going to be a little bit too far gone, but we can hope.
Yeah, Plumerian Knight's thought process here is probably, well, I've already committed to this like alternate play. I've got to see this through to the end. You know, my opponent's probably gone to the moon, has been making checks there, so let's commit to what I've been doing and hope it pays out. And yeah, we're really at the last card here. It's got to be an ace.
Meantime, Frankie Bones is through, completes that second objective, and I wouldn't be surprised to go straight back underground, get that pan check done, and work on getting the crystal.
Yeah, Plumerian Knight's first going to go through Mylon. He has not done the Mylon fight. This should be very, very simple. Yeah, it's venturing up that cane, and should be able to cut through this like a hot knife through butter.
Now, getting rewarded with that pink tail, which, or no, sorry, heads of pink tail. What was the reward here?
Yeah, what was the reward here? That's a good question. I thought it was the pink tail, but apparently I'm remembering things wrong.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I didn't realize Ray Knight already has the pink tail, so okay.
Oh, Pinktail was the Odin spot. Thank you, Antidale. That's correct. Yeah, this must... Oh, it was the Protect Ring. Thank you, Judge Infinius. That is correct. Was just the Protect Ring here. It's late, folks. I'm sorry. It's 2 in the morning. Why are any of you awake? Seriously, though, thank you for watching.
We're thanking people again. Thanks very much to our restreamer, Oscar424, and our tracker, Ike here. And for all 158 of you who are here watching this wonderful Free Enterprise After Dark, we appreciate you.
Hey, I love seeing all of these times showing up in chat, just kind of like showing off where that Free Enterprise truly is a global phenomenon. That's actually heartwarming to see.
We're about to see the moment of truth coming from Plumerian Knight. Going to take on that Ogo Pogo.
All right, this is the moment of truth. We got all those Bacchuses. I imagine frontline fighters are going to get Bacchused up quickly, and then it's going to be, gosh, a matter of throwing around Cure 3s or seeing how he handles it from there is going to be interesting. We might see some darts of some of those. Nope, immediately going to Bacchus up that edge. So we have some really good damage coming out from these canes. Okay, this is going to hurt because that is going to trigger a counterattack from Ogopogo. So even though this is going to do some decent healing, it's also going to take out a quarter of everybody's health.
422 on the healing, almost 600 on each of the melee fighters. So not really a good thing in regards to healing for that, but might have enough physical damage to push through.
Yeah, he's doing way more damage here than I would have expected, and it's coming out really, really fast. This is an incredibly fast spot as it is, but he's getting a lot of turns to Ogopogos. He might be able to pull this off.
Got Cursed Palom sitting in the middle, just hugging the ground right now. I guess everybody else already won.
And he's through! He did it! Unbelievable! I did not think it was possible, but Plumerian Knight manages it all the same. Is he rewarded? Oh, no! Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that is just the worst thing you could possibly see. At this point, you just kind of have to go up to the moon, hope and pray it might be a little bit too far for Frankie Bones. This is his race to lose at this point.
Yeah, I mean, now we still have nothing is set in stone at this point. We still have a very shaky team for Zeromus. We do not have a dedicated healer, and of course, Big Bang does massive area damage. So it's still, that fight is still a little bit up in the air. It's by no means guaranteed. So if Frankie Bones struggles, that could give Plumeriaknight the time that he needs to catch back up. But yeah, this is. Like you said, Frankie Bones, the ball is in his court. As long as he can execute, then he can have this race.
I might think, going right here saying, I'm behind, might gamble. We might see the cheeky Paladin spot check first, and if that's adamant, this could be back to an even ballgame.
Yeah, because that would be a much quicker, well, maybe not much quicker, but it would give you, oh gosh, there's a spoon. There's more throwing power for Edge. But yeah, getting the Adamant would give you another Excalibur. That would be more ammunition for Edge to throw against Zeromus. A lot of upfront damage can help you push that second phase at a much more optimal time and get through the fight much more quickly. But yeah, as Pepita is pointing out in chat, if we see the Adamant here from Sheila, then that's pretty much game over for Plumeria.
An answer question in chat. Yes, Keyless Tower was checked. It was just a heroin robe.
We've seen quite a few of those these seed.
We've seen heroin robes. We've seen Excals. We've seen defense swords. A lot of melee heavy stuff. In the meantime, Frankie Bones turns in that pan, gets his crystal. He's completed 3 objectives. Going to be able to go, there's your crystal sword, Cecil.
The goods indeed. Frankie Bones rewarded for the long-term devotion to the Holy Knight and is going to be going into that Zeromus fight with a crystal sword, Cecil. I love it.
As we said back in the very, very beginning of the seed, there's a lot of things with Cecil's agility that can be bad. Crystal Sword Cecil trumps all.
And now going for the essential element to his party he's been holding on to since the beginning. Gonna go pick up that second Cecil to use as an anchor from Mount Hobbs here.
So who do you drop here?
My SO is going to hate to hear it, but I would say Rydia. Well, no, going with Tella. Going to do some hybrid strats in Zeromus, it would seem.
So it'll be interesting as well, with absolutely no white magic whatsoever. Because, as I said, I don't think we've ever seen the Ashura.
Yeah, going to be relying on those Cure 3s. Now, that's by no means a terrible strategy. A stack of Cure 3s can get you through almost anything in the game. It just is kind of suboptimal because you don't have that blanket AoE healing that is going to make recovering from Big Bangs way easier. Plumeriaknight is going into the Ribbon Room, is going to be rewarded with that pan for go mode, so is going to be chasing Frankie Bones, but is going to be on the right path here very shortly.
Plumeriaknight going power overwhelming, immediately attacking with that cane. It's going to trigger the virus scripts for the litters.
And Frankie Bones' team is complete. Heading off to Troy has got that pass. It's going to be a quick trip through the Devil's Road, up to the moon, and into the final fight.
So it's about this time of night, morning, whatever time of day it is for you, that we tend to ask a very interesting question.
Oh, we get to ask it very interestingly today, too. Well, at least I do. Not you yet. There's the flag. Now we can ask the question. Whose butt are we going to kick this morning?
It's still tonight for me.
That's why I jumped in and took it. So you know the drill if you've been around here. We randomize everything around here, including the last boss. Not anything about his AI script, granted, but what he looks like, certainly. We have 450 beautiful alternate Zeroma sprites, created by Boardface, and the majority handled by community member Scala Kitty, who puts a lot of work into making sure they are as lovely as possible. So if you got those Z flags, throw them out. We're going to find out very shortly here from Frankie the true form of the Destroyer.
I have suggestions of Pillow Miss and Bed Miss getting thrown out in chat.
Oh God, if we don't, then that's who I'm fighting in as soon as this is over, believe me. See, a question in chat, why does Mountain Cecil come with a staff? Ordinarily, Cecil's initial equipment is the Legend Sword when he becomes a Paladin. The change to the staff was, I believe, Boardface getting around that so that the Legend Sword could be a key item instead. So when Cecil is recruited as a Paladin, he just has that single silver staff equipped instead of the Legend Sword he would normally have. I believe that is the reason for that.
I'm going to point out, Cure 3s were in the pass shop, so it makes it very convenient for picking up a stack before going to that Threemus fight.
Yeah, that's almost like the pass shopkeeper telling you, hey, no white mages here. Might want some of these.
And I did get through those dealers, is now bonking on with that pan. Gets his spoon, will head straight to Sheila to complete that last objective. The question is going to be, is it going to be in time to try to snipe Frankie Bones? Or is Frankie going to be able to get through this fight before that?
Yeah, this is still a race. Plumeriaknight's going to be going into this last fight significantly behind Frankie Bones. But like we said, that lack of white mage makes this still kind of a dicey fight. Anything could happen here. If something goes wrong and Frankie Bones takes a wipe, Plumeriaknight could be right back in here, but Frankie Bones is also very, very over-leveled for this fight. You can see over 4,000 HP on his Cecil. Even his Rydia, who has very, very poor HP growth curve, has enough HP to comfortably take on big bangs. So he's looking very good defensively here.
Yep, so we've got Frankie throwing the crystal as Sumeria gets his crystal.
Shoutouts to Crystal on both screens at the same time.
And the bonus, which for Plumeriaknight is just a big old sack of money. And there is 13 miss.
All right, I'm sure there's some Kingdom Hearts super fan in chat that can tell who all of them are, even with their hoods up. Oof. Cecil hitting for over 6,000 damage a swing with that Crystal Sword. That is nice.
So when Seed gives you Cecil and Crystal Sword, you go with Cecil and Crystal Sword.
Here comes the Silk Web going out. That is going to not only slow down Zeromus to make him even more manageable, it's going to trigger that counter nuke that is going to nerf that initial Big Bang. And, oh, you'll love it. Right on the reflected character, so you don't even have to heal that damage back up.
Always a fun thing when you get that self-nuke.
And Riddy is going to be reflecting those nukes for some very nice hybrid strat damage here. And gosh, with the amount of damage going out from this team, maybe healing isn't even going to be a concern. That might be the only Big Bang we see this fight.
Yeah, we are putting out some big damage real fast. In the meantime, Plumeriaknight right on the heels is hopping into their Zeromus fight. Can they catch up?
Edge throwing everything, including the kitchen sink at 13 miss here. All of these high-tier weapons that just doesn't have a use for anymore. Chuck them. This white spear empty. Yeet.
Plumeria throws his crystal, is about to swap Kane for the Avenger, get that going.
Yeah, this is still very, very close. All it takes is one mistake here from frankiebones, and plumeriaknight is right back in here. But as the damage keeps going out, and we're inching closer and closer to the end of this.
Here comes that coveted Drain Spear dart from Edge.
Another shake. He's doing a lot of damage. You might be able to get through before this big bang gets off. If it does go off. Nope, does not go off. There is the shake. We are done. GG to frankiebones, taking the win here and keeping his tournament dreams alive with a final time. We'll get it here in a second. 157.46. GG's indeed.
That was a very well done Threemus fight. Only saw the one big bang. Very smart move, taking that second Cecil at the end to use as your anchor. Paid off in the end with his levels. Well done indeed. And I believe we are joined by frankiebones. GG's.
Thank you.
So how are you feeling about the characters offered there? Not a lot of healing going out there, was there?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What'd you say?
Oh, just saying, with the characters being offered, no pure white mages or anything. How are you feeling about the healing situation going on?
Haven't.
I think we're having a little bit of microphone trouble here with frankiebones. We'll try to get that sorted out and get him here for the interview. But yeah, meanwhile, plumeriaknight plinking away here, shouldn't be far behind, doing substantial damage of his own to Threemus here.
Even going to cast a Sylph. That's something you don't see every day on Threemus.
Yeah, you typically don't want to use too much of Iridia's summons against Threemus because, again, it's one of those fights that has the... Oh my god, and that was the final blow.
It is amazing. That was absolutely beautiful to see, a Sylph kill.
Wow, the swag Sylph kill. Not something you see every day. plumeriaknight ending this match in style. And still finishing sub 2 hours despite going all over the seed at 159.31. What a close race this ended up being.
It was really close the entire way. And GG's to both runners for getting through this seed.
Yeah, most certainly. Yeah, as soon as we get these audio issues sorted out, we'll try and get our runners' thoughts on this race overall here.
Meantime, we'll keep an eye on the spoiler log, see if we can find where that adamant was hiding.
Yeah, I've got to imagine it's got to be somewhere in the moon, right? That's the only place left since we saw both Fame Arch checks. So far from a haunted moon this seed, despite all of the overworld and underworld checks we were given.
is Wyvern Spot.
Yeah, not a spot that many runners are going to go to very early outside of like a push B to jump situation. So, yeah, it looks like going to that ribbon spot and grabbing that pan was going to be the natural route for most runners.
Yeah, this seed really had a lot of twists and turns, and everything kind of coming down to that pan there in that ribbon room was a big thing for both runners.
Most certainly. I'm really curious to know who was behind that package. That's the only character we didn't see this entire run, unless I'm mistaken.
You are correct, so. I think we might have Frankie with us again. I think we're still checking the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah. So yeah, Gigi, on your run, we just kind of wanted to get your overall thoughts on the season. Go ahead.
I was saying hopefully this works, but I think I'm getting an echo.
I've got a little bit of an echo, but we can kind of hear you pretty well. I was trying to get what your overall thoughts of the seed were.
Just a lot without a white mage. Was nervous going into the Z fight.
Yeah, that's understandable. It's rough to find a seed.
I figured if I overleveled a bit, I could do it with Cure.
Those Cure 3s being in the shop there at Troya, really a lifesaver, but well done getting through it, using those Cure 3s very effectively.
Well, yeah, it sounds like we're still getting a big delay here from your microphone, so I'll just ask you this and let you sort of take it away from here. You're holding on here. You went 1-1, so you're 1 win away from going to the play-in match to get to the table round. How are you feeling, and what are any adjustments or changes you're looking to make going into your last match here?
I feel good. Practice has been good. I kind of need to get better at looting. I need to probably some of the boss fights. I got a little caught up with attacking, using AoE attacks. What you want.
Gotcha. Well, you put on a fantastic show here tonight. This is a very, very close race, but you made some really strong routing decisions that kind of gave you the win here. So, thank you so much for being restreamed in this late night free enterprise race. It was an absolute blast, and good luck with the rest of your races here.
Thanks for staying up late. Sorry about the issues.
Hey, for a race like that, it's worth dealing with. So that is Frankie Bones. He was the winner in tonight's race, going 1-1 here in the Hook Route. And he's a win away from qualifying for the play-ins for the table round. And I believe we are joined by plumeriaknight, just behind Frankie Bones here. Gosh, the heartbreaking finds there with the power rub on Ogopogo. Gosh, we really wanted that to be the adamant for you.
Yeah, that was wow. That was a really close race.
Yeah, what were some of your ideas? It was a very late commitment to the moon that you made. What was kind of your thoughts on sort of clearing everything else out? What were some of the thought process behind your routing decisions here tonight?
Well, basically it came down to not taking Tella. And I needed some form of berserk and huge levels to get through the moon, I felt.
So that was the impetus behind the stealing from the Mad Ogres. Then was stocking up on those Bacchuses.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, it really paid out for you with that Threemus fight, getting able to Bacchus everybody else real fast and get those melee damage going.
Yeah, the Z fight turned out to be pretty okay. I was a little worried. I didn't think I had the HP for it, but it went down pretty quick.
Yeah, I have to know what was the swag kill with Sylph? Was that intended, or did you try to get some healing out?
That was a simultaneous try to nerf the Big Bang and get some healing.
Ended up killing, so it worked out.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think that's going to go down as one of the swaggiest ways to kill Threemus, using Sylph. So.
So what is it like getting that deep in the seed, checking virtually every character spot in the game, and having no white mage whatsoever? What's kind of going through your mind at that point?
Where are the Bacchus in the shop? That's my question.
The answer is none of those either.
Yeah.
Knowing our luck, it's probably the Kakol shop, which, you would have to go to the Crystal Sword altar to get that out of it to open that up.
Yeah, maybe they were there the whole time.
Well, this does put you 0-2, which unfortunately means you're out of the running for qualifying for the play-in races. But how has your tournament experience been, and how's everything gone for you overall? How do you feel your play has been?
Oh, it's been great. This has been a great tournament. I love watching all the matches. I feel like my play's been pretty good. Came close. I didn't really lose by more than 30 minutes, I don't think. So, yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, this was a incredibly close race. Definitely give it a watch back because there were so many twists and turns, lots of back and forth. This was a really, really fun one to watch. So thanks so much for putting on such a great show tonight.
Oh, thanks to all you guys that put on the restream and do the commentary and devote all your time to doing it.
Happy to do it, especially when we get a race as good as this. GG's plumeriaknight, and thank you so much for being rebroadcast tonight. It's really been a pleasure.
Thanks.
Yeah, GG's again. That was plumeriaknight with coming in last, unfortunately. Going to go to 0-2. Hopefully to see him next week. Playing for Pride in an 0-2 match. It'd be great to see. So that's going to about do it for us tonight.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I guess you still might be up for a little bit, but I'm about ready to hit the hay. But I think we're going to bring you some great content here to fall asleep to. We've got Free Enterprise's own Zoe Vermillion doing some streaming here tonight. And we're going to shoot you over there to enjoy the rest of the evening. So say hello them. Make sure to keep the spoilers in the race to a minimum, just in case anybody there wants to watch the race. But definitely say hi to Zoe. And with that, for the rest of the Restream team, we've Asuka doing the Restream, Akir doing the tracking, and my co-commentator Gambit. My name is Smapey, and thank you so much for watching tonight.
And in case you're jonesing for some more Free Enterprise action, don't forget we have a bunch of races coming up tomorrow. Starting at 7 o'clock, we've got Revenant Chaos Hades. That one's not getting a restream. Super Sexy Flanders and Zilch going to be reaching on the Free Enterprise channel at 7:30. Muhammad X and Ikir at 8. Blue Money Lord Bree on the RPG Limit Break channel at 8. Dathis and Imperial Dragon at 9 on Random Mania. And then Iklopfer and PMA Pal at 9 o'clock as well. So plenty of Free Enterprise action coming tomorrow. But as Faith said, that's it for us tonight. We're going to send you over to Zoe. Y'all have a great rest of your night.
Take care, folks.